It is also one of our cardinal principles of our organization. We organize symposia. We talk to all manner of people, including young children that are in the secondary schools. Educate them on their rights as it relates to things they need to know. The girls will educate them as to what they know. They need to know as girls. You know, some people have daughters in the home, but they don't even teach them. On issue maybe sex. When the opposite sex is advancing you, what you need to do to cut the person off, you don't even teach them that. They're so busy with your job. You leave your daughter at the mercy of the society. When a man is making on a kind of, let me use the word, unrighteous advances, what does she need to do at that point? They might not know. And they become vulnerable to all these criminals all over here. So, we take it upon ourselves as an organization to educate these ladies, these our sisters and brothers that are still toddlers. So, it's part of the things we do. We need to recognize that increased access to justice depends on public confidence, which shall not be allowed to wane or else anarchy looms. We need to recognize that increased access to justice depends on public confidence. Aside from Nigerian police, EFCC, NDLEA, and maybe ICPC, then principally most of the cases that go on, even in the federal high courts, state high courts, magistrate courts, are cases, criminal cases I'm talking about, are cases initiated by the Nigerian police. It's occasionally that you come across NDLEA in the federal high courts, cocaine and all of that. Occasionally you come against maybe EFCC. It's only when they want to come and dramatize. But more often than not, it is the police that interface with the society. So if the police is the main agency that interfaces with the society, if the way and manner justice delivery is done is not really satisfactory to the people out there, anarchy looms. What do I mean? If two people come to you complaining and they know that this person is a notorious criminal and he's been caught in the act and they give it to you and something to bungle the case and the person goes back, if they catch him, they'll kill him. They'll not bring him to you again. They'll say if you take him to the police will set him free, maybe kill him. That's why you see so many people that have been burnt and killed in the societies are killed because the people there do not believe that if they take them to police, justice will be done. They now take to jungle justice. They go to the extent of killing someone that stole ordinary pepper. The other one they did in Ejibo. A young girl that stole ordinary pepper. They use wood to pass through her private part. That is the height of wickedness of man. Meanwhile, our thieves, recognized thieves, are having chieftaincy titles, retired governors. We're hailing them. These are the thieves, but we're hailing them and promoting them. But the people that stole ordinary pepper because of hunger, because of the fact that the society do not depend much on the police, they not take to jungle justice and kill a person. So that is why we said, if there is no increased confidence to our justice system, anarchy looms. Anarchy looms. No matter how small a case comes to you, try and handle it. If not, that little one, you know, if you see a corn, it's just small, but when you plant it, it grows up and bears so many corns that you can plant the whole of this place. That is how denial of access, denial of justice to somebody happens. If it causes to one person, the person may take a gun and wait for a police officer that didn't even know anything and begin to shoot them. Begin to shoot, begin to kill. He will kill and hide and run. Because he has bottled emotion against police. You may not know the person. He could have been denied of justice somewhere in Edo, or somewhere in Zamfara, or somewhere in Imo State. He comes in Lagos with such a mindset. He sees police as an enemy. Whatever you do, police is a criminal, let's kill him. So these are the reasons why the little thing you do, make sure that there is justice, manifestly and obviously seen as to be done. Now the conclusion. In conclusion, because we are taking it bit by bit, we'll come again. In conclusion, access to justice and protecting human rights are two peas in a pod, and both are fundamental parts of a strong legal system of any country. Nigeria is no exception. In our work of achieving sustainable development, we must not forget to uphold the principles of fairness, equity, and good conscience. Steady progress is better than no progress at all. I must say that access to justice should not only be recognized as a distinctive human right, it should equally be enacted into the constitution of every modern and civilized nation as a fundamental objective, fundamentally protected right. As a right without a remedy is utterly meaningless. I end with the words of M. Kapaleti that says, effective access to justice can thus be seen as the most basic requirement, the most basic human right of a system which purports to guarantee legal rights. And he couldn't have said it better. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Pastor Ahatu, for this wonderful lecture. Please don't divide this house, please. Hello, hello, please be with us, please, because we are not going to permanent ourselves here. I want to let us understand some few points from this lecture so far. And if you have questions to us, please indicate by raising up your hand so that we can take the questions down as we answer them once. I believe all of you here on uniform today, you know that if you don't retire on uniform, you will retire at death. Am I correct? Yes. You either work, you retired peacefully from your uniform and you become civilians like us, or you retired at death. And it should be the basic reason why every human being, every police officer should have it at the back of your mind. That this work you are in is not permanent but temporary. It's not a company established by you or your father that you inherited. So you come in as a temporary person and you will go out same way. So if you have such belief and thoughts in your mind, behind your mind, I believe at any given time you want to exercise your power as a police officer, you will consider what will become after now. And our advice, you work most of the time, use your initiative. When you are handling case, when you are dealing with the public, when you are dealing with the society, you have it at the back of your mind that you are a civilian on uniform. Average police, 80% of you are hated by the public. Not because your name is Mr. John, not because you are Miriam, but because you are on this uniform. And it's the reason, the primary reason why you should learn how to create synergy between yourself and the society. You might be living in a compound where you have up to 3, 4, 5 co-tenants. There are some of them that have questionable character than yourself. But 3 among the 5, or even 4 among the 5, can be against you as a police officer. Not that you've committed another crime, but your uniform and coupled with the impressions people have about you, which you can easily erase by trying to change the impression and try to bring a new police to the society. We are not here to praise you. We are not here to condemn you, but we are here to create synergy between you and the society as a whole, and not just a human rights body alone. If you have issues like landlord and tenants that average police divisions or police officers handle on daily basis, you know that when the tenant overstays or having financial difficulties to pay or to renew his or her rent, there's every tendency that they end up having problem with the landlord. And the procedure, the court gives more rights to the tenant than the landlord in most cases. And since the landlord find it difficult approaching the court, because that take longer period before evicting the tenant, they end up using you police officers as an avenue to punish the tenant by feeding you 70% story of that are baseless, which most of them are lies. And instead of you police officers using your initiative, your wisdom to go into the case, most of them appeared in the police station reporting case of assault which have never existed. And at the end of the day, either the tenant is being charged for assault innocently, or justice never prevails in such cases. And there are also cases that you as a police officer, you apply ADR, alternative dispute resolution, rather than charging the case to court, congesting prisons for a minor offenses that ought to be resolved within yourself instead of charging them to court. And we all know that society of today, people tend punishing whoever they complain against by using police, forging lies and not whatever, just to send innocent people to the prison. We want to also encourage you police officers, our friends today, to please apply ADR in most cases when you handle case, rather than sending parties to court that may result congested prison for minor cases. Then brutality. We are also here to encourage you in creating another avenue of extracting information from suspects, mostly when it's not engaged with robbery. Even if at that, we all know that in the Western world, suspects are always being arrested without even any form of marks on them. There is nothing that said Africans or blacks, you must engage brutality on them before you extract meaningful information from them in the course of your investigation. In our next visit, we'll be giving you some tips on how to extract meaningful information from your suspect without brutalizing the person or inflicting injuries on your suspects. Because you all know that there are some nice and good cases that you police officers have, but in the course of brutalizing your suspects, you lose some of those cases, and such suspects go home free from court, even though they actually committed the offense. Which in our next visit in this division, will be educating you on how to extract information from your suspect without brutality of using such a process. Another thing is abuse of prosecution power. You know your duty as a police. You know what it entails to prosecute someone. And it's one of the reasons why the society hates you as a police officer. Because in the course of you investigating matters and taking that time to get facts and figure before charging cases to court, maybe because of you have a loggerhead with the suspect, or in the course of inviting or arresting the suspect, there was a misunderstanding, and you use such annoyance to prosecute the person without a genuine fact, without a right fact of what you are prosecuting such persons for. As a human being, you all know that if you prosecute someone in this place, you have one or two persons related to you somewhere that may be suffering such injustice in the course of he or she having conflict with any other person in the society. Today I have in this division, surprisingly, that you can know that the word is just too small. I have my niece as a police officer in this division. That is Ofuni, or what is that? Esther, right? The last police officer. That is my niece. Yes. Her mother is her mom is the first daughter of my father. The same father and mother. And that shows to you that the world is small. If I wake up petitioning police officers here and there, and I have my younger sister as a police officer, somebody else can do it to her. I just cited her there now. I just want to be sure if she's the one. She is my sister, the same blood. Her mother with myself have the same parents. Her mom is my father and my mother first child in my family. So, educating or enlightening you, if I've got the opportunity of having her close to myself, I will also educate her on how to relate with the public and with the society and with the civilians. If we're having issues in the family, will she wear this uniform to come and intimidate anybody? No. We will speak as families. We will discuss as one body. And if for whatever reason, if she wants to come in, she should use her initiative to resolve the issue instead of taking side as a police officer. Are you with me? So in a nutshell, not to take you much, because we'll still be visiting. Today is the preliminary aspect of it, to introduce to establish that relationship between yourself, this division, and our body. And I should be visiting to educate you and in the platform we're creating, we'll be sending you articles of human rights, your duties, and if you are in any way investigating any matter and you want legal advice, don't hesitate to send your request, and whatever opinion you want from us, we'll always send immediate response to you. While we're still going on here, we're just getting a message from Area E Command that we just have a human rights abuse, someone that's a child trafficking, that someone trafficked some children from Benue to Cotonou, which we also intercept them, return them back, and they're sending them to gender unit. We should please hasten up to come into the case, which is part of creating the platform. And just like your DPO earlier said, if you have any issues that have to do with human rights abuse, it's a question of sending to the platform without even looking for who to call on phone. And you as a police officer, that some of you that are being dismissed from work unjustly, and you have any of your colleagues as such, you can relate to the platform. Let the person feed us with necessary information on how to fight for such person and reinstate back the same person back to God. Then issues that we have gone through in the course of our lectures in any other division and the area command, we discovered some of you have issues of spending your own personal money, taking a suspect to court or to prison, and so many, whereby we will come into that. We're already on it, working on it, on how to remove such from the police system. And we did not stop at that. We award police officers that distinguish themselves in the course of their duty. Some of you that have spent your money or have been spending your money, we investigate that and we'll try our best on how to make such refund back. Outside that, police officers that stand out in their discharging their duty on no record of records of brutality, abuse, unnecessary prosecution, unlawful prosecution, and all these things, we single-handedly pick such officers, acquire visas, and sponsored you on international seminars and for more human rights lectures, and that is free of charge. And we do not stop that. We also award either by cash or by complete kits However, in any area we find you justified or qualified for our award, we award police officers like that, from the least rank to the top. So I will encourage you that in our next visit, please, we will see more positive results or outcome from whatever cases you are treating around this place. And as we've heard from your DPO, the challenges you are having, like the rescue vehicles and all these things, we will see work up to, approach the necessary authority and to see how best we will press further so as to have the operational vehicle which you can use to rescue life and to have effective arrest when needs arise. The last but not the least, is we usually have meeting once in a month. That is human rights meeting. We will communicate with your DPOs. We'll be having one next tomorrow, that he will be delegating some of you, one or two of your men, or however who is free, which is on Sundays, 2 hours, 3 to 5, that you will be lectures on your rights, and feel free to ask some questions where so many things will be obeyed to you, and how to engage on your duties effectively. Thank you very much. And another thing I've noticed in this division, please, if you are having an outsider that will be coming to lecture you, outside being on your uniform, please be on your berets. Because you can see that we are not limited, our organization is not limited to Nigeria. We have branches in the Western world, Poland, America, France, Italy, Canada. So we don't want to portray giving any wrong impression about our police. Be properly dressed, come on with your full kit, your beret, your uniform, properly neat, talking, and when they see the appearance of you in the picture or in the video, then they will applaud you. Are you with me? For some of you that is covering a jalabia or veil, I don't know if it's the police officers or whoever, but when we're having, I think we still have to communicate with your DPO. You need to have more benches. So that if you're having lectures like this, you organize yourself and sit the same way other divisions look whenever we approach the command or the division. I know in our next visit I'm going to see best of you. Thank you. Any questions? Okay.
Please give our queens a very sound round of applause. Our head medical officer. We appreciate you, and we are very grateful. The division is 10 years old and is receiving less attention.
10 years old.
And it's receiving less attention from. It is the public that normally should. It is the when government do not do things, the public, maybe perhaps the PCRC will do something. The hall will make it this way. We've been trying to do something to improve on it, at least to have a decreasing hall where we can have lecture and receive visitors, have lectures, and do whatever that is needed to do. At least the hall should be part of an organization where you need to talk to. Because security, I code it that is like bathing. You bath yesterday, maybe twice. You bath this one, before we feel you sleep bath. That is all about security. And in making people to work require talk. We appreciate you for your presence. We appreciate you for your sensitization. We appreciate you for your reminders. We appreciate you for everything. Those who remember and those who don't know how to hold them. My own is not a question, but rather it's just like an observation. And maybe we might make I don't make observation without making, at least finding a way of a remedy. Even before NGOs start coming up as human rights, lawyers, advocates, barristers, they often emphasize on fundamental human rights of citizens. Citizens have duties and obligations. Why are we silent on it? We need to do something on it. 99% of our citizens don't even know what to do. And I know it is an obligation or duty of citizens. For example, if there is an accident or there is natural disaster, that they should come out. That they should come out and perform their civic responsibility. Apart from obeying law, paying taxes, and so many other things. But there is too much silence on the duty and obligation of citizens. And I think it's making people to overemphasize their rights. They are overemphasizing this because it is their inability to know that it is their duty to obey the law. That is why they are breaking the law. And that is why their fundamental human rights are being curtailed. And in the process of it being curtailed, you see infringement. I'm a traditional man. I'm a hunter. And I used to say that you don't be a policeman by coming to join the police and be trained and be given a uniform. You can be a policeman naturally. And if you are naturally you are a policeman and you happen to be trained to become better, then when you add other things to it, you even become the best. As a traditionalist and as a hunter, it is natural that you should provide security, protect the community, both the forest, the animal, and even the human being on it. And it is free, and it is done free. In most cases, I observe something. Anytime we are writing, some of these our texts, some of these our address, in big symposium, in seminars, in workshops, we even quote foreigners. Why? I frown at it. It makes our people, it lost meaning. They don't see any relevancy in it. When you quote Ifa, you quote Oromiyan, you quote Ogmonirigun, when you quote Kuyamina, when you quote all these our foremost disciples, it has impact on us. Because whether we like it or not, we have the DNA of these our forefathers running in us. And anytime we hear references from them, it sparks us. Ask people to swear with Quran and Bible. They are willing to carry it. But give them iron that they should swear in Sango with Sango, or give them anything to swear. You see, they feel jittery. Why? Because the DNA, there is a connection between that thing and them already. So, I want us to, anytime we are writing any text like this, we should find a way of making references to our traditional so that we will have the impact, we will see the meaning, we will see what it is. We should post we post Augusto. Now who be Augusto? When Taisolani did it, when Amokudu did it, when all those people are there, we have our foremost leaders. We have Shango, we have all of them. Every tradition here, everybody from every culture here has a foremost warrior among them, who most of them live a distinguished life. And they have a saying that are in Mabu. We should go and exhume them and let us start feeling it. Police, politics, and security, we don't vote. We are not voted for. We don't determine the budget. We don't determine anything. Even if I have voter's card, I cannot vote. My duty, the exegesis of my duty, will not allow it. We needed to go back to the grassroots. You have voter's card. You voted. You determine who I am. If I say, as a police officer, that I'm a slave, it's an understatement. I'm a robot. If you put battery in me as a robot, you activate and you press your button, it works. If you don't, it doesn't. And who does that? Voters determine who goes there. We should not forget the root. The populace are part of who we are. They voted. They know whom they voted for. And who they voted for determine who we are. This one I want to say, I want you to remove your camera. Excuse me, remove this your camera from this one I want to say. Anybody from inspector downward in the Nigerian police today, we are former OPC, former Egbesu, former all these militias in the country between 1999 and 2009. These politicians who you voted for, bring them and they put them. In quote, it's a rhetoric question. How do you expect a perfect behavior? Mind you, during the process of recruitment, police no longer have power. They use the Police Service Commission. Even Police Service Commission were told what to do. It is from the senatorial district. They send lists to them. How do we expect somebody who knows how to handle weapons before and has been killing, we've been using him as stock to beat? Through all this period, no training. From constable to corporal, no training. From corporal to sergeant, no training. From sergeant to inspector. No, look at where we are now. It's beyond us. Sir, the United Nations best police practice said is ratio 1 to 400. With equipment, appropriate equipment. Today, the population of Nigerian police is 300,000 estimated. And Nigerian population is estimated to be 200 million. Abi, that is ratio 1 to 2,000. That is ratio 3 to 2,000 persons. That is ratio 1 to 1,800 persons. So me, as a policeman now, I'm policing 1,800 persons. Without shoe, without Okada, without motor, no walkie-talkie, nothing. Even my salary cannot do anything. Let's say I'm not married. I have no children. It's a deceit that 185,000 naira will take care of me. Less than 200,000 naira. You voted. I don't have power to vote. And the people you voted for determine whom we are. Within the last few weeks now, there are so many social media. Say about 300 and something billion naira were budgeted for senator, and only 17 were given to the police, only 6 were released. I said, even the analysis is incorrect. Ask me why it is not correct. out of the 6 million that were released, 6 billion that were released to the police, we have about 300 personnel of police service commission spending about 60% of this 6 billion naira. I have the I have climbed. I used to tell them, I said, I have climbed police ladder to the top, to the highest Iroko tree leaf. That I am here is just because I want to. I said I want to rest. Let me just find somewhere to sit down and rest for the next 2 years, and that is why I even have time for some of the activities I'm doing. I bother them a lot, but they benefit from it, and that's why I have the time to invite you to. I participate in so many other things. Like yesterday, now the DPO in Kaja organized a security summit, and most of if you see me there, I was on my foot throughout. I was coordinating. You do this, you do this until the CP left and everything was closed. I stand in seminar and workshop and address head of state, address commissioners of police and Inspector General of Police. I will not say we are helpless. We are in the best position to do the best. Even without nothing, you transport a police officer from here and you send him out of the country with nothing, and they will still give him accolade and give him laura there, and they come back and he's the best. Even when others are given equipment, scientific equipment for them to perform their duty, we still beat them. Then what is our problem? I used to say we are in the best position today to organize the best security for ourselves. Take for instance 36 million naira monthly salary for a senator. Divide it by 2. That is 18 million. Then this 18 million divided by 200, that is an average number of policemen that you will get for that senatorial district. Add it and be paying them. Add it and be paying them. I'm from Kogi State, from the same senatorial district with Dino Milaye. If I stand like this, Dino cannot stand me. He is doing what he's doing because of that is what he is right from the youth. But even when we were growing up, he knew those that were stubborn. That where somebody like us are standing, Dino, now behind that motor you go stand. Go park toy vehicle that cannot walk in this country. Nowhere you can, apart from Abuja, there is nowhere you can drive. The road to his this, if not now that they completed Obajana to Kaba, from Kaba, the road stopped exactly at a coverage before you enter his house. The police station in his hometown, BAT and DPO are struggling together. Go there. I was still there this year. BAT like this, and because there is no what, no ceiling. We appreciate you. We don't blame you. You at least we must start. Yoruba ni wọ́n ní ibi pẹlẹbẹ àti ìmọ̀lẹ̀ díẹ̀. Even if you want to kill a snake, you will start from somewhere. Even if you want to tame a lion, however dangerous it is, you will start from somewhere. You have started from somewhere, and we pray that God will assist you, and you will achieve the purpose for which the purpose for which you set up your objective. Amen. But I have finished with my observation and comment. I have one observation. There is no unit without bad egg. Are your people entitled to receive complaint and treat complaint?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Under which law?
No, what we do, sir?
In
Like,
mediation.
for instance, tenancy matter. You know, it's civil.
Yes, sir.
It's not criminal.
Landlord and
Landlord and
tenant.
tenant. So when the landlord and tenant come to us,
Domestic violence.
when they come to us, we look at it. If there's an aspect of crime in it, like we are interfacing with you now, we call the police officers from that division, hand them over on that aspect of the crime.
Who regulates it?
As in,
In every play where there are party, there must be a referee.
now what we do is that sometimes, you know, when we have organized a symposium in the society like this, we educate people on their rights. If a landlord is there, he says his tenant is owing him, and he doesn't want to pay, we call his tenant, he comes, because if he goes to police will tell the landlord to go. That is not a police matter. That's the law. Then the landlord may go home and have ruffled emotion and may begin to
They
resort
used
to.
to come here and I will tell them.
So when
We
they
have
hear,
ADR, we have
yes,
court,
yes.
and luckily Fasola has established ADR. But if any one of you do anything contrary to either of the two options,
Take laws into your hands. We now
we went
inform
out.
you. Yeah. So now, what we often do that we even achieved much is that when you have this, because of our international connections, even some of our partners end up paying for the tenant. They end up paying for the tenant, and the landlord gets happy. So, but if you go to all those ADRs, the primary purpose they achieve is you must leave. You will now, they will now begin to draft questions and all of that. So, our own is to interface them and bring about peace, and sometimes pay. So that is where we come in now. We pay sometimes through our organization. Not that once somebody commits armed robbery, they come to us. We don't have anything to do with armed robbery. Even when we have issue of armed robbery, we report to the police station that is nearest. Like we know you now, and we have built this kind of platform. We often report. There are people that, you know, if somebody commits a crime and he knows that police is coming after him, he takes on. I mean, it takes to his deal and then disappears. But in that circumstance, we will now say, okay, don't worry, we know what to do. We get police involved. And this issue of domestic violence, the people that actually notice these issues, if you check, not necessarily the victims that come to you. There are people like that saw it. So when they come to us, we take them to. We have this one in Ikeja, domestic violence department. We take them to that. So, and again, this issue of domestic violence, the ladies that are usually the victims, when they go to police stations, they say, "Why you come wear this short skirt? Go this one. Are you cause them now? Now you know you carry your something. Go meet them." So those things scare them away. So when they come to us, we now take them to the powers that be, who now encourage them to go and arrest them. Then we provide them with the little much we can in terms of shelter. And you know, when you have a small boy and a small girl, you beat them up, and you take the auntie to police station. Where would the small boy or small girl stay? He's not going to live in the police station. So we now make arrangements. Not that we handle police, we don't handle police matters. So we perhaps coordinate with police.
That is understood. Then my last observation is that most of the human rights issue I've had here, the allegation against my policemen has always been that they demanded money. I will specifically look into the last one. Somebody was apprehended while crossing Obasanjo Bridge here. He was not with any identifiable things apart from human rights tags linking him with the motorcycle. They brought the motorcycle here. They asked him to go and bring his particular. The second morning he brought his particular. But as he brought the particular, those people who work overnight were not around. He called one of you and they called me. And the first thing is that they said they demanded for 35,000 naira from the DC. I said, okay, I will look into it. I said I will look into it. And now asked. They now took me to the motorcycle. I snapped the motorcycle and sent it to the person. I said, you should please cost it for me. I said it should cost the motorcycle for me. Because if you want to buy the motorcycle, maybe the most is that you will add 5,000 naira. You will add 5,000 naira to that 35,000 naira. The alleged policeman is demanding for. I think we should be honest in everything we do. I'm not saying policemen, my personnel, they say monkey say na only the one wey dey inside belle na him fit trust. The one wey dey behind him, while he is cutting tree in the morning, when he wake up in the morning to do tree stick, that one may be plucking maize from somebody's farm. Not knowing that the maize is not for tree stick. So I think we should, if we are very, very direct to point, it will be better that a policeman demanded for 35,000 naira for a motorcycle that is apprehended, even if truly offense is committed, is bogus. Because I have one principle, and my principle is the truth. See, if you kill human being in my presence, wetin concern me? Na me the judge. I used to tell my people, I'm not the judge. What? Why do you kill? He now starts rhetoric explanation. Now you kill him. That is what I want to know. Yes, I kill him. How did you kill him? He say, na so you kill him. If I like, if you say, protect me, if I like, I turn my back. He will be the one that will be living in open prison throughout his own life. And if there is the need to apprehend the person, what is my business beating him? What is my business? Because what he does to that person, somebody, if it is not done to him, will be done to any of his relatives somewhere or somehow, sometime. Because you see, it's a web. It's just like a basket. The issue of this security is I'm here now. My children, my wife and children are somewhere else. Who is protecting and guiding them? Whatever I do here, we definitely, because we are living in a society that is in a round circuit. Somewhere, somehow, somewhere, it will go. I have brothers and sisters driving vehicle on the road as I'm talking now. I have them riding Okada as I am speaking here now. Then whatever I do to anybody here, will it not be with them? So I will now call when they arrest them, say, I beg, please release the person. Most of my people, they will call me and say, you better bother about what is in your jurisdiction. Let me bother about what is here. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate you. And as you say, this is just small. We open more doors for more of this interaction in the future. And not just only here like this, but as we are creating the platform for us, we also want to benefit. I used to tell my people, knowledge, the day you stop learning, that day you stop dying. The day, and even my father told me, he said dead body, when a dead body is on the ground, it also learns. I say how? He said when you place a dead body on the ground, the whole body will do like this. Then he said you rearrange it. And he said if you rearrange it, you see it stay the way you put it. He said that is learning. Thank you very much.
You are very funny.
I believe there is no question in the house. Okay. You know, I said earlier that we'll have a national anthem song for the police and the human rights. But don't mind my voice saying that if you are a chorister in your church, you come and take the lead. And the song go this way. Nigeria police, your friend.
Stand up when
Nigeria police, your friend. No matter what the case may be, Nigeria police, your friend. Can we go?
Nigeria police, your friends. Nigeria police, your friends.
Nigeria police.
No Nigeria, please your friend. Nigeria, please your friend. Nigeria, please your friend. No matter what the case may be, Nigeria, police your friend.
Access to justice must stand.
Access to justice must stand.
No
Matter what the case may be, access to justice must stand. Access to justice must stand. Access to justice must stand. No matter what the case may be, access to justice must stand.
More than 24 hours.
Access to justice must stand. No matter what the case may be, access to justice must stand.
Human rights defenders.
Access to justice.
Human rights defenders.
Access to justice.
Access to justice.
Human rights defenders.
Injustice for one.
Injustice for all.
Clap hand for Nigeria police. Okay, we can arrange ourselves for a snapshot.
About our not wearing cap, we are very sorry. If
No
you
problem,
notify
sir.
us, we will have put on our cap.
No problem.
It is a tradition in a regimented organization, not just only the police.
Yes.
If it were to be in the olden days, as you are coming in your uniform, you see this quarter guard. There are pegs there where you remove your cap and you hang it there.
How old are you in the Nigerian police, sir?
28 years.
Clap hand for him. It's not easy. It's not 24 months. And he's a well-informed police officer. There's a difference between an informed police officer or being a police officer for 100 years and you are not informed. I'm proud to be a friend of this division, sir.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.